Hello everyone, I am Bhuvan Verma, hosting you in another session of STEM Talk with Leaders. By inculcating STEM education, we try to encourage practical learning and conceptual knowledge. Robo Siksha Kendra, built across India with the help of our CSR partners, is an integral part of STEM education. Through these institutions, we support students to progressively discover what is STEM way of thinking and how they can benefit from its various discoveries. And also learning about misconceptions and building on available technologies and design a future which is unimagined. Beauty of all theories is that they are applicable to all, but not at all times. STEM talks with leaders are aimed to share siloed information openly and hear from eminent leaders who have brought a change and transformation in the world. Today, we have someone very special for you, Rakesh Singh, President, Punjab Solar Power Producers Association. Hello, Rakesh. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, Bhuvan. It's a pleasure talking to you as well as all the young students and sharing with them what I see is the future.
Wow, hooray. So moving to our first question, diving straight into our question, Rakesh, can you tell us why are industry leaders interested in STEM education?
The world is changing and changing very fast. So there are people who are driving the change and there are those people who are benefiting from the product or services of that change. And this is essential. Now, when I look back, when I started my first job, I went to the post office, booked a trunk call to my parents to tell them about it. This was in 1987. Then came the STD booths, and then came the mobile. And now, seamlessly, we talk to anyone, anywhere in the world. So change has to come about, and STEM is no longer an option. STEM is a necessity now. Everybody has to be STEM savvy, if not STEM educated.
Wow. Rakesh, STEM savvy and driving change requires a lot of practice and hands-on training. Can you tell our students, guide our students, how important is hands-on training for school students?
Knowledge is a cycle, it's a process. You get data from books, lectures, other sources, then you internally process it. After you process it, you reach a hypothesis or a conclusion. You experiment on that, and after you've experimented, you get knowledge, right? So there is explicit knowledge, which is available in the form of books. There's implicit knowledge, which you get by mulling over the information you get. And then there is tacit. Tacit is what you do yourself. You cannot become a good cook just by reading a cookbook. You've got to actually cook. You cannot be good at AutoCAD by reading about it. You've got to practice. So there is no substitute for hands-on training.
So Rakesh, while on one hand, yes, hands-on training is very important, you also mentioned implicit learning. How can you tell our students one subject, topic, activity that you have done by self-learning?
One thing that interests me a lot, right from the start of my career, was workplace improvement. So I had the opportunity of starting my career with a 2-year stint in Japan working with Mitsubishi. So I learned the two different methods. One is a 10x change of changing the workplace, which is disruptive in nature. It changes the whole process of doing things. And then the second is the constant and never-ending small improvements, or Gemba Kaizen, as they call it. Now, both of these are brilliant methods of improving the workplace. There's a very small example I'll give you. It's a amalgamation of many minor improvements. Now, there was the British cycling Olympics team of 2003. They had never won any medals. Then they hired a manager who would improve their working. He introduced many small changes, like the design of the seat cover of the cycle, alcohol on the tires to reduce friction, pillows on which the riders would sleep, gels which they would use for muscle recovery. Now, with these small changes, never-ending changes for the next 5 years, in the 2008 Olympics, 60% of the cycling medals went to Britain. So these small changes may seem insignificant, but every small change adds to the value. In every activity, if you have a 1% change, you end up with a very, very large number.
Wow. Wow. Rakesh, thank you so much for introducing concepts and giving examples to our students. Students, please go and look up Gemba Kaizen and 10x change with Rakesh ji has mentioned here, and you will benefit from learning about it. Thank you, Rakesh ji, for speaking from your heart and sharing such valuable, precious insights from the industry and your learnings that you've had. Rakesh, you are a leader in the industry yourself, but I'm sure there may be some STEM leaders that you also follow in social media. Can you share them with our students so that they can also learn and inspire?
There are two I follow. One of them is Anand Mahendra. Obviously, I love his Jeeps. I bought my first Scorpio and was absolutely thrilled to be in it. He's absolutely changed the face of automobiles in India. So I like that. The second is a person called Manish Sharma, who is the CEO and Managing Director of Panasonic Asia Pacific. Now, him I follow because he was one of the engineers I had when I was setting up a project in Gwalior. So I hired him as a GET and have watched with pride his growth in the industry and the stature which he's brought the industry to. A small thing, like when we were setting up the project in Gwalior, the company ran out of cash. There was a cash flow problem. There was a delay in getting the loans. So we had the material, we had the welding machines, we had everything. And we were just sitting, we couldn't hire a contractor. So then these GTs came up with the idea, why don't we do the piping? So all these 40 GTs, they learned how to do TIG welding. And they did about 6 kilometers of stainless steel piping, Manish Sharma being one of them.
Wow.
So
wow.
That's how it goes in the industry.
Wow, that is such a powerful example and such a beautiful way of narrating your experience. Thank you so much. Our students are learning so much thanks to your valued contributions and the people that you worked with. Thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, moving on to my next question. You commanded large teams, as you mentioned, and that brings me to my next question, which is, what is that one must attribute of a team player?
In the present scenario, the old methods of hierarchy and division of labors are dissolving. The boundaries are more fluid now. The responsibilities are overlapping, and a lot more needs to be done by the people in the team in terms of understanding each other. So for me, a team player, first and foremost, needs to be able to understand himself, to be mature enough to understand his reactions, to be mature enough to empathize with the others. Because end of the day, it is how you treat people, how you interact with people, how they interpret your interactions.
Wow. Wow. So poetically put, Rakesh, thank you so much. Okay, to my next question then. Tell us, Rakesh, what is your favorite equation, formula, or quote, and why? My students are eager.
So this is something I've been talking ad nauseum. So there are two actually. The first one is you've got to double or quit. In your every interaction, every day, you've got to add value. And I give a target of you double your value every day. If you've been able to do that, that means you're in the right field. Otherwise, find a field which you like and there you double your value. That is one. And the second one is amateurs practice till they can get it right. Professionals practice till they can't get it wrong.
Wow, wow, beautiful, beautiful. Rakesh ji, this is so valuable. Double or quit, students, and such a beautiful way of putting such a complex idea. Wow, wow. Okay, to my next question, Rakesh, which is your favorite STEM subject and why?
Now, if it is just STEM and if it is STEAM, I'll answer both. STEM, I like physics. The reason I like physics is its simplicity, its purity. There is the laws of nature are followed. There is a cause and effect. Everything has a natural consequence. So that's one of the reasons I like physics. A small example in this, if you look at a particle of snow under a microscope, it is so beautifully symmetric. There is order. And that is the reason I like physics. The one other thing which I really love is psychology as a part of behavioral science. Now this I've been studying, I've been trying to understand. It has helped me understand myself. It has helped me understand others. And I think understanding people is going to be the key moving forward.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, Rakesh ji. Absolutely. And you have, in a way, given a task to our students at STEM labs also, Robo Siksha Kendra. Please, kids, use your microscope and explore what Rakesh ji has told you. This is a, once in a chance opportunity. Ki Rakesh ji has also given you a challenge in his very beautifully articulated response. Okay, to my next question then, Rakesh ji, how does STEM education help students learn about leadership?
Leadership, as I see it, is about vision, is about responsibility, is about ability to take people along, is about communication so that the vision which you have is shared by others. Now, to me, this is through a lot of education, it's sort of introspection. So I think this is true for every person, whether he's a STEM student or he is not a STEM student. It is true for any walk of life.
Right. Wow. Wow. So students from all streams can benefit from the STEM way of thinking and integrated way of thinking, like Rakesh ji mentioned. Okay, Rakesh ji, since we were talking about, we can learn and we can read and we can act upon so many things. My next question to you is, which book are you reading these days or carrying around with you these days?
I have a very eclectic reading list. For the last couple of months, I've been reading books by an author called Saurabh Mukherjee. It's called Coffee Can Investing, and the other one is Unusual Billionaires. I wish I'd read these books 10 years ago, but they hadn't been published then. It is all about how you invest in the stock market, which is something I think should be taught in every school, because we don't do that. So that is one of the things I'm reading. Next is, I think we've got a lack of heroes to look up to. So when I got this book, Beyond the Last Blue Mountain, which is about the life of J.R.D. Tata, I read it in one go, cover to cover. It was fascinating reading about his life and his endeavors, and really the small things which he did, which can affect every person. Then there is Wings of Fire by APJ Abdul Kalam, which is actually something that everybody should read, I would say.
Fantastic.
It is inspiring.
Yes. Yes, certainly. So students, we have our summer holiday reading list ready now. Thanks to Rakesh ji's wide eclectic reading list, which ranges from practical books, books that give you technical tips and hacks, to biographies and people's visions from which we can draw and add on to. Rakesh ji, we are so thankful to you for sharing such a, detailed reading list with our students. They will certainly read it during summers. Okay, to my next question, which is, my last question also, but most important, which is about the challenges for students to solve in the future. The future is both scary place and offers an opportunity. And we want Rakesh ji to delve on this issue and share his insights with our students on what will be the challenges students will have to solve for in the future.
As you said, the more I look at it, the more afraid I am. The future is really a very scary place. Now, looking at it from a macro level, it all stems from the population. We are presently at a worldwide population of 7 billion. By 2050, we will be about 9.6 billion. Now, when you have a 37 to 40% increase in population, you got to cater to them. There is need for food, there is need for energy, there is need for water. Even as of today, a very large percentage of the world population is hungry. Imagine what it will be like when you have another 40% added to it. So between now and 2050, there is a need. Of course, nutritional needs also will improve. So there's a need of almost improving the food output by about 70%, which is a humongous number, because the land which we have available is not going to grow. Now you've got to add to it the facts that we also have to look into the greenhouse gases. The present method of agriculture generates about 25% of the greenhouse gases, and it consumes about 70% of the available sweet water, drinkable water. That is the situation now. What will it be like if you have to produce 70% more food? Now, this is scary, as well as it offers opportunity. The way I look at it is opportunity is working at it from a zero base again. We produce so much. As of today, why are the people still hungry? It's a question of geography and it's a question of transportation. 25% of what we produce worldwide as of today goes waste, which is shocking when you have a 30% population which goes hungry. So as of today, even if we improve the efficiencies, people would not be hungry. Now, the world is covered, 71% of the world is sea. Yet, only about 1.7% of the world food we get out of the sea, which is a source of opportunity, which is a source of study. A lot more can be got from the sea. Then there's energy. And there we live in exciting times. There is a number of things, green hydrogen being one of the subjects I am passionate about, and I am working towards. Within that ecosystem also, there are a humongous number of opportunities for all the STEM students today. There are going to be millions of jobs in that sector, which will cater to the world's energy requirement and to the well-being of the world.
Wow. Wow. It is such a comprehensive answer. So much to learn from your insights. Green economy, green jobs, and green skills is something that our students at various Robo Siksha Kendra are learning, and your talk will be inspiring for all of them and show them the path to the future. We thank you, Rakesh Singh ji, President, Punjab Solar Power Producers Association, for sharing such valuable insights and experiences to help our students appreciate the emerging opportunities of the future. Today, we learned that a mentally fit person is not content with existence, but requires exploration into the unknown. The ideas pursued in Robo Siksha Kendra are innovative, dynamic, and establish self-motivation among the students and enthusiasts. Robo Siksha Kendra facilitators motivate students to learn through their mistakes, build their future, and achieve the unlimited. They train students with tools, technology, temperament, and umpteen opportunities to grow, develop using STEM way of thinking. Today's STEM Talk with Leaders was a great opportunity for us to connect with an industry leader, Rakesh ji. We thank him once again, and we thank our viewers for sharing this video with their parents and peers. Until next time, Namaste.